Hi everybody, it's Julia from Matheson Travel coming to you this week actually from North Carolina. I have some meetings in Charlotte this week and next, and so I popped up to Hickory, my hometown, to visit with my mom, and I'm in her lovely backyard where spring has sprung. And we got to talking about some episodes of the TBS show Who Do You Think You Are? That I guess there was a marathon on this weekend or something that we both had seen. And I got started talking about how cool it was when I went to Scotland and did a little bit of family research for myself. And I just wanted to share some of that with you and maybe inspire you to think about looking into your ancestry and finding out where your ancestors came from. And so my father was very interested in genealogy, and Matheson is a Scottish name. It's a very minor clan, not like the Campbells or the McDonalds, which are, all over the place. And he had found that we come from this one particular area. And so a couple years ago when I was in Scotland, I went to that area, and it was so neat because first of all, I saw our name here and there at like the Eileen Donan Castle. We were stewards for like one little tiny period of time, but still our name was on the big, genealogy line, which was really kind of neat to see. And then I drove into the little town near there, just knowing absolutely nothing, just drove into the center of town. The tourist office I think was closed, but I found right next door was a little bookshop that I think sold tickets to like boating cruises that you could do in the area. And I just sort of said, "Hi, I'm a Matheson, and I think there's a castle nearby." And oh my, they were so nice. The locals were so cute and adorable. They sold me a book that was written by, cousin Hugh or someone, that was all the history of the Matheson clan from, way back in the day. They would have introduced me to him, taken me to his house, but he was out of town that day, which they knew, which is also pretty adorable. And they gave me directions to find this little castle that someone had built in the 18th century. And it was just the most fun day, and it was super, super interesting. And, I know that a lot of people already think about Scotland maybe, but more like Ireland for researching their genealogy. But actually, don't know if you realize this, because I didn't, is that actually German is the largest percentage of ancestry for most European descended Americans. And just like Ellis Island has a great immigration museum that talks about all the different waves of immigrants, there's an amazing museum in Hamburg that talks about all the German immigrants that left. And that's a great resource to start, to maybe visit if you've got German ancestry. If you go on Ancestry.com and you find out some of your forebears come from Germany or Germanic states, that would be a really good place to start. And Italy is another place that has really strong ties. I think it's the second largest ancestry percentage in the States. And Italy would be another fantastic, fun place to go and do a little bit of research. Again, that you might want to start with Ellis Island, or again, Ancestry.com to find out exactly where, so that you're not, searching for a needle in a haystack. But, the language barrier in, Germany or France or Italy might be a little bit more difficult than, say, Ireland or Scotland. But something that you could do if you really are interested in this is hire a private guide that can, speaks English for you, but then also speaks the local language and can help you find these little nooks that, someone knows your family name, or, maybe you even still have relatives if your parents came over recently or your ancestors came over recently. But it's a really, really neat kind of way to connect yourself to a destination and to your history and to your heritage. And I really encourage you to think about doing that. Maybe maybe you take your high school students, your high school friends, your high school age children on a trip to learn more about their history. And it's a really great way and a really great addition to a trip. So that's it for this week, and I'll talk to you next week.